as a perfect pairing to our recently mentioned gold example of a full-size facelift Range Rover with the 4.4-litre V8 engine, we have this, a beautiful green 2016 example of a Range Rover Vogue SE with that very same 4.4 SDV8 engine. We have of course praised many times, and doubtless will again, the 3-litre SDV6. It's a superb choice of engine in the Range Rover Sport in particular, but you could argue that even more so here in full-size Range Rover form, there is something even more special about that 4.4 V8, and because of the fact that it is a facelift generation, it means its road tax is far more affordable than you would think for something with this kind of size and pulling power, but so is its fuel economy. It's so much more efficient than outgoing eras of the Range Rover and even many other large 4x4s on the market. In fact, let's touch on those specs first, because on the one hand you have the exact kind of power figures which you would want from a 4.4 litre. There's no point at the end of the day having a large engine if it can't back it up with actual performance and pulling power, and boy can these. 330 horses on the one hand, so slow they are not, but more importantly 550 foot-pounds of torque, which is well over 700 newtons of pulling power. These are the definition of monstrous cars when it comes to pulling power, so if you were to, for example, use it as a holiday vehicle at a certain time of year, well, it could definitely pull several caravans at the same time, most likely, if you wanted it to. But, and here's the real beauty of the advancement of technology over time, these are so much more efficient than you would ever realistically expect a V8 Range Rover of all things to be. Up to 33 miles to the gallon average, as high as 37 on the motorway. That is not bad at all for a car with those kind of numbers, and even on the point of yearly road tax, well, no vehicle seems cheap per se anymore, but these are a whole lot more affordable every year than they very easily could be. If you compare it, for example, to some older Range Rovers, which are nearly £800 a year, this in comparison is £430. All of this is well and good though, but what kind of history does it have? And most importantly, what is the price for what was up around, or in some cases even over, a £70,000 car when new in 2016? Well, now it's under £22,000. Of course, retains the option of low deposit financing if you did want to spread out that cost, but even if you didn't, that is an astonishing amount of luxury car for the price. And let's be honest, for that kind of price tag and that kind of value, you would think it either has millions of miles or maybe no history behind it, but in actual fact, it's only just kissed 84,000 miles, which for a 2016 car is very good indeed. And when it comes to that all-important history, again, as a 2016 car, it has a full service history portfolio behind it with 8 stamps. In fact, it will also be serviced by ourselves before leaving our collection. In other words, it's the definition of ready to go, and its most recent keeper has clearly enjoyed the car because they've had it in excess of 3 years. Speaking to its visuals and of course its kit, and it's a Range Rover so there is plenty of kit to get into, it's finished in the gorgeous Aintree green with cirrus leather, of course heated cirrus leather we might add, heated and cooling seats in fact, as well as heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, panoramic roof with adaptive xenon headlights, of course LED day runners and LED lights on the rear as well. The, of course, much in demand Meridian sound system, complete with no less than 17 speakers. Of course, it's fitted with touchscreen display, Bluetooth, auxiliary and USB inputs, multiple 12-volt charging points, premium voice-controlled navigation, also includes wireless headphones, parking sensors, of course, front and rear, as well as parking camera, triple zone climate control, power opening and closing split tailgate, adaptive dynamics, electronic height adjustable air suspension, part of the reason of course why they are so comfortable. Of course it has ISOFIX anchor points if you do need to fit it with child seats, perhaps for the grandkids, or even with that kind of fuel economy, potentially for the school run as well. All in all, for what was in excess of 3 times this price when new, for again a full service history vehicle with great mileage and a gorgeous colour combination, it's really no wonder why people love Range Rovers and Range Rover Sports so much. And in the case of a car where you get to have a proper full-size, very well-equipped luxury car, but simultaneously with a large, powerful, beefy V8 engine, and yet somehow one which still has the kind of economy and even road tax to justifiably use it even as a daily driver or a commuter, certainly a longer distance car if you wanted to, well, it really ticks all of the boxes. And they look fantastic as well as the cherry on the cake. So, of course, if you would like to reach out regarding this Vogue SE in, as mentioned, Aintree Green, you could, of course, send us over an email to the address shown right here on screen, or give us a call on 01749 871 155, or naturally on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.